3 knocks from beneath my boat changed my life forever. If you're ever alone on Lake Michigan and hear knocking from below the water, leave immediately. Don't look down. Don't wait. Just go. I learned that lesson too late. Last summer, after my grandfather died, I inherited his fishing gear. While cleaning his old garage, I found a rusted metal tackle box hidden behind stacks of dusty equipment. It looked untouched for decades. Inside was something I never expected to find. Beneath old lures and tangled fishing line sat a small cassette tape sealed in a plastic bag. Written across the label in fading black marker were 6 words: "Do not go to marker 42. At first I laughed. My grandfather loved telling stories. Most of them involved strange things he'd supposedly seen while fishing Lake Michigan. I assumed this was another one of his elaborate jokes, but something about the warning felt different, serious, almost desperate. Curiosity got the better of me. The next day, I found an old cassette player at a thrift store and brought it home. The tape crackled as it began to play. Wind, waves, then my grandfather's voice. He sounded frightened, not the nervous kind of frightened, the kind of fear that settles deep into your bones. To whoever finds this recording, he said, "Stay away from marker 42. My smile disappeared instantly. I had never heard him sound like that before. The recording continued. "If you're hearing this, I might already be gone. There are things in this lake people don't understand." A long pause followed. Then came a sound. 3 loud knocks. The exact sound of something hitting a boat hull from below. My grandfather inhaled sharply. Then he whispered, "It's underneath me again." The recording dissolved into static. That was it. No explanation, no ending, just fear, and those 3 knocks. That night I couldn't stop thinking about the tape. I searched old navigation maps of Lake Michigan and eventually found marker 42. It was a buoy located nearly 10 miles offshore, far from beaches, far from tourists, far from help. The location sat above one of the deepest sections of the lake. The more I researched, the stranger things became. Several boating accidents had occurred nearby over the years. Most were dismissed as bad weather, but a pattern was beginning to emerge. 2 days later, curiosity overcame common sense. I loaded my fishing gear onto my small boat and headed toward marker 42. The morning was perfect. Clear skies, calm water, not a single cloud in sight. By noon, I reached the buoy. The lake stretched endlessly around me. There were no other boats nearby, no sounds except gentle waves. For a while, everything seemed normal. I almost felt disappointed. Maybe my grandfather really had been telling stories. I dropped my fishing line and waited. An hour passed, nothing. Then another, still nothing. Not a single fish. The silence felt unnatural, even stranger. Birds avoided the area entirely. No gulls, no ducks, nothing. Then my sonar screen suddenly flashed. A shape appeared beneath the boat. At first, I assumed it was a school of fish, but the reading kept growing larger and larger and larger until my stomach tightened. The object beneath me measured over 100 feet long. I stared at the screen in disbelief. There were no animals in Lake Michigan remotely that size. The shape moved slowly beneath the boat, then stopped, directly underneath me. I felt every hair on my arms stand up. For several seconds, neither of us moved. Then the sonar signal vanished completely. The screen went blank. I immediately started the engine. That's when I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. The sound echoed through the hull. Not from the side, not from above, from underneath, exactly like the tape. My hands froze on the steering wheel. The knocks came again, louder. The boat shifted slightly. Something had touched it, something massive. Every instinct screamed at me to leave. I pushed the throttle forward and sped away from marker 42. Water sprayed behind me. For For a moment I thought I was safe. Then I noticed something below the surface. A dark shadow paced my boat. It wasn't swimming behind me. It was matching my speed. The thing remained several feet below the water, too deep to see clearly, too large to ignore. I accelerated harder. The shadow accelerated too. No fish could do that. No known creature in the lake should even exist at that size. Yet it stayed there, keeping pace, watching, waiting. Then the water beside me began to rise, like something enormous was ascending. The lake bulged upward. For one horrifying second, part of the creature surfaced. Gray skin, smooth texture, no visible scales. Then I saw its eye, an enormous eye, at least 3 feet across. Its pupil turned toward me. I cannot describe the terror of realizing something that size is looking directly at you, not randomly, not accidentally, intentionally. The eye remained visible for only a second before slipping beneath the surface again, but that second changed everything. I raced back to shore and told no one. Who would believe me? Weeks passed, then months. Eventually I convinced myself stress had caused me to imagine it, until one evening, while sorting through my grandfather's belongings, I discovered an old photograph hidden inside the tackle box. The image showed him standing on a fishing boat sometime during the 1970s. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then I noticed the water behind him. Something enormous lurked beneath the surface. I turned the photograph over. 4 words were written on the back. It is getting closer. A chill ran through my body. The date written below the message was from over 50 years ago. My grandfather had seen it too. Maybe many others had. I began digging through newspaper archives. Missing boaters, unexplained disappearances, distress calls, most clustered around the same area. Marker 42. The deeper I searched, the more impossible the story became. Yet the evidence kept growing. One report described fishermen hearing knocks beneath their vessel before vanishing. Another mentioned sonar readings showing enormous unidentified objects. Most records were buried in local archives, ignored, forgotten, dismissed. But they all shared one detail: 3 knocks, always 3, as if something beneath the lake wanted attention, wanted contact, wanted people to know it was there. The realization terrified me, because whatever it was had been active for decades, maybe longer. Last week I received an envelope with no return address. Inside was a photograph, marker 42, taken recently. In the corner of the image sat a handwritten note. It's near shore now. There was no signature, no explanation, only those words. Since then, strange things have happened. Late at night, I sometimes hear knocking sounds. Not on my door, not on my walls, but beneath my floor. 3 slow knocks, exactly like the ones from the lake. Knock, knock, knock. I don't know what lives beneath Lake Michigan. Maybe it's an undiscovered creature. Maybe it's something far older. All I know is this: my grandfather feared it, others disappeared near it, and now it seems to know where I am. If one day you visit Lake Michigan and hear 3 knocks coming from beneath the water, leave immediately. And before you go, tell me in the comments, would you investigate marker 42 or run? Subscribe for more terrifying urban legends and true style horror stories, because next time, the thing in the water might not stay underwater.